Hi everyone, my name is Fatima and I'm talking to you from Newfoundland, Canada. We didn't do much, we stayed home most of the time. I think one weekend that Mehi had a therapy session on a Friday and I had classes, sewing classes on Saturday. We decided to go with the truck camper and boondock and it was really nice. So we could explore a little bit more of Newfoundland, but mostly we stayed home. And this year, for the first time in the 3 years we have been here, we had an iceberg for 3 days in our backyard. Then it moved a little bit to the other cove and then it broke into pieces and disappeared. But it was pretty cool to look outside and see the iceberg there. It was really nice. And after the iceberg came the whales, so we can see them sort of regularly here. There are some puffins, but the puffins are in the ocean and we can see them only with the binoculars, and even though we need a better binocular. But we have been very fortunate. We also had a couple of seals coming to the backyard. They like when the ocean is calm. So it was nice. It was really nice. We're very happy to be here. Now, knit-wise, I had 2 projects that were from last year. One was let me start with what I'm wearing. I'm wearing the Fitton Dynamo from Kate Davis. And I used some hand spun that I had for a while. And it's perfect for Newfoundland because Newfoundland summer is nice, not too hot. So I can easily wear something like this that is wool. This is Ashford fiber. I think it is 80% merino, 25% silk. And I had spun it a long time ago. The border is a little bit of the Mille Roche. And I had left over just a little ball of yarn, nothing much. Okay, so then the scarf for him, in the beginning I was following some books, then I started just following my mind, and then I went back to following some books, and it's done. So I thought it had to go around, but then I saw some scarves, some men wearing scarves, and I think the size is good. He's taller, so it's going to be a little bit shorter, and if he wants to wear it traditionally, it's going to be like this. So I think it's going to look good. And when I finished it, I showed my daughter, and she showed him, and he said, yeah, I would wear it, but let's see. Then it's done. I used up, I had the Mille Roche sample from Kate Davis, and I think this is a nice project. I used almost everything from the sample that I had, from the yarns. So I'm glad. I think I'm going to make a cowl for Paula so that they can match. She doesn't like when it's too matchy, but I think I'll do it. So this is my first finished project. Then I have a few other finished projects. So I finished that last episode. I had shown that I had the bobbins for the blue. What I did is I plied it and then I over-dyed it with a darker blue because I didn't like the grayish blue. And I made another scarf. So this can be an option for my son-in-law if he doesn't like that very much. And I also did a hat. So a matching hat. And if not, I will take it to Brazil next time I go. And I'll see if I don't think my son likes scarves because he doesn't like things on his neck. But if he doesn't want, I'm sure I'll find a nephew that will like it. So these are my 3 first finished projects. Then as finished projects, I finished these socks that I started knitting them when I was walking, the first pair. I end up making the other one not walking. I have been a bad girl. I haven't walked so much. But I finished the pair of socks, so I'm pretty happy. And when we went exploring, I took my yarns. I was going to start a sweater for my sister, and then I didn't have the proper needle size for that because they were all being used, the 3.5 millimeters. So I had gone to a store to get some yarn, and I got this, and I ended up making this sock. And I thought this is the it's the German brand, and it's an 8-ply. I already had done one, and I did this one. I'll put in the notes the name of the yarn because I forgot. But the cool thing is that I was not planning to match it. I stopped where I thought the first sock should stop, and I did one full sock first. But then if you look, they're matching. So I just need to weave in the ends, and they're tight in the feet, so they're nice. I like it like this, not too large. So this was, and goes very, very fast. The other thing I did is because before I had seen that 44 stitches was good for this yarn, but it was too large on my feet, so I did 40 stitches here. And then after I did the heel, I increased 4 more stitches in the round, and then it turned out nice. So that's what worked with this one. Then another finished project, the knitting part of it, is this sweater that was initially supposed to be a paper doll from Kate Davis, and then I just did it. So because I bought the yarn that is the dual, and it is 55% wool, 45% cotton, and I think it acts more like cotton. So if you look where I did the decreases, and the cool thing is that even though it was a bottom up, I was putting it up and feeling if I needed to do more decreases or not. But it shows a lot here, the decreases. The yarn shows a lot. I never noticed this before in sweaters, but here it's showing a lot. Maybe it's because I have been doing color work sweaters mostly. So what I need to do is weave in the ends, but I want to embroider something so that it will make the marks not so noticeable, or you're gonna have your attention drawn to the embroidery, but I'm not there yet. So the knitting part is done, but I need to do some embroidery. So I think this is everything that I had finished. And then work in progress. This is the other sweater. This is the, let me see if I have it here. Yeah. This is from this book, Arctic Knits. It is the fjord jumper, and I'm doing it for my grandson. And I end up having my sister sending me more yarn because this is with Fios da Fazenda, that is a Brazilian brand. The only thing is that even though I am using one from the old yarn that I had and one from the new, it is, I'm seeing the light. I'm seeing a stripe here. And then I noticed that even though it was from the same yarn, I think that one sleeve is a little bit lighter than the other. And I chose to use exactly the one from the light sleeve. So I think I'm going to undo everything from the beginning. And then I'll use this leftover because I had 2 leftovers. And this one seems to be brighter than this. This is hand dyed, and Fios da Fazenda, when you put an order, they dye the order for you to send. So even though they dyed this together, maybe it was in the sun, I don't know, the skein, but the thing is that it is lighter. So I think I'm going to undo the part that I did, and I'm going to do it again. And I'm not doing the helicoidal, something like that, knitting. I'm just using as if it was Antarctica, and I'm just using the 1 row of one yarn, 1 row of the other yarn. So I'm almost done. The sleeves are done. So all I have to do is the body. And I can even see some changes here. So I think I will just undo that and use this one that I think, it's hard to see, but here I can see that this one is darker. And this is lighter. So, but I will use one of this, 1 row of this, 1 row of this, and I think it's going to be better than what it is now. But I hope you will like, and I'm glad the sleeves are done. So this is it. Then for my son, I was knitting the So Basic cardigan from Maxir. And the funny thing is that I hadn't even arrived to the small size. I was planning to do the large size for my son. And this is the first time that I used superwash to do a sweater. And this one was already very big. So when I started this, I forgot that a friend told me that when you're using superwash for a sweater, you should use a smaller needle. I didn't. And I don't like the fabric anyway. So I think it might be good for something else. Like I can make socks because it is a sock yarn. And I bought 4 skeins, so it's going to be a lot of socks for my nephews and son and whatever, and grandson. So I think I'll make socks out of it. But as you can see, I even stopped. I just kept this so that you could see how much I had done. And instead, I bought this Paton's yarn that is wool. It's not superwash. It's also a sock yarn because it is 25% nylon and 75% wool, but it feels more woolly than this one, I think. So I decided I'm going to make the same sweater, but on this. I just couldn't start it yet. And I am now, my priorities now is to finish the sweater for my grandson, to finish the sweater for my son, and the sweater for my sister. But meanwhile, I started 3 blankets. And I don't think I have the 3rd one here. But this is with hand spun. Let me just put the stitches in here. So I have a bunch of hand spun that I have been spinning since 2007 and that I haven't used on anything. So I decided to make a blanket with it. And it's funny because it's supposed to be a throw. And what I looked for a throw is something that covers me and can fold a little bit. But everybody's saying, is it for a baby? Could be, I have a new granddaughter. But what I'm going to do is when I finish to the size that I want, I think I'm going to pick up stitches on the side and make it. But this is a long-term knitting project, and that's okay. So this is one work in progress. I'm working, so I have bunches of balls like this. This ball must have like 150 grams. So I'm just going to do in stripes and use up yarn that I have spun over the years. So this is another project, and I don't think I have the other blanket here, but the other blanket, it's more or less like this one. I progressed a little bit on this one, but very little. This is from Stephen West, and it is like on the diagonal. And I'm using some fiber that I had, it's commercial fibers that I have dyed, and some are cascade. This is cascade, this is cascade, and the rest here is knit picks that I bought long ago for a training that I would be giving, and it didn't happen, so I have the yarn. I start doing this, and it's going to be a blanket. So I'll see what my son likes, and whatever he likes is going to be for him. But based on this, I started the other one, but just in squares, and I'm very happy with it. Okay, then last video, I had just started the, I think it's Hell from Mary Wallin. And it was funny because I bought a lot of Briggs and Little to make this. And I thought at the time that I bought that I had all the colors, but I couldn't find them. I don't think I bought. And then I thought, oh, I think I have some Jameson Smith that I can use. And then I remembered that I have all this left over from my Primrose from Mary Wallin. It's Mary Wallin yarn. So I start doing this, and like I did for the first part, because the first part is the colorful one, and then it's all gray and black for me, and the other one is, I think, gray and white, the original one. And it is nice, and it's going. It takes a while, but it's going, and it's going nice. But I have other priorities, so I forced myself to stop because I got on it and I just couldn't stop. And it's so nice. So I'm pretty happy with this. This first part is Briggs and Little. And then I was looking for this, and then I started using that. I thought I should have used it from the beginning, but now it's too late because I'm not going to unravel all the color work. But I'm pretty happy with this. I just can't work on it right now because I have another priority. But I progressed from the past video, that's why I'm showing. Yeah, so that's that. And let me see what is it. No. So this is the leftover that I have from that dual yarn that I'm going to do something with it later. Oh, and the last project that I have, progress that I have some progress on it, is also Mary Wallin, and it is I think it's Louveable or something. And I was taking this on my walks, but I stopped walking, so I stopped progressing. But if you think that this was with needle, this part was 2.25 millimeter needles, and now I am with 2.75 millimeter needles, I progressed a lot just on walks from here to the next cove. But then I stopped walking and I stopped working. I have to get back to walking because this is a good project. It's not too big until the color work starts. It's a good project to go for walks. Just a lot. So this is my work in progress for my knitting. Then I have been doing some dyeing, and there are some videos on their way about dyeing. And the first video is about dyeing fiber with a crock pot. And I did dye this fiber with the crock pot, and so I start doing the thing is, the best time to spin is right after you dye your fiber. And so I had dyed the fiber and then I spun it. And in this case here, I thought I was going to blend two bats that I did. One was one color, only this sort of blue. And the other was this batch that had this color. So I started using two cables of the blue when the blue finished, and start putting one cable of this color, then two, but I didn't like it very much. So after I wash, because I haven't washed this yet, it's gonna bloom more. So the leftover that I had, I did Navajo ply or cable ply. And then you can see the colors are more, you have some parts that you have many colors together, but you have more definition in the colors. So I think I can use both these yarns to do something together. And I like this color that is supposed to be green, but it looks like a blue to me. And I like this color very much. So this is some skeins that I did. This one's also I had in the previous podcast as bobbins, so I applied them. And July is the Tour de Fleece. I always wanted to participate. When I remember that was with the Fleece and Harmony podcast that Simone was saying that she was participating. And the Tour de Fleece is like, it's all, of course, it's a reference to the bicycle ride that they have, race that they have in Europe. But the goal is for you to spin a little bit every day. And I was spinning a lot every day, and then I just start doing other stuff. So this is the leftover fiber that I had from long ago, from before we came to Newfoundland. And I have probably like 600 grams. It's merino and silk and a little bit of alpaca, gray alpaca. And so I just need to apply this to start using. I don't know if I'm going to keep the color. This color is not that bad, the blue, or if I'm going to over dye it with something. But this is the leftover of this yarn. So then I can start working on something. Then I have, this is what I have dyed with a crock pot on the days that I was doing the video, and I spun, but I haven't applied it yet. So I'm not sure if I'm going to, probably will be a cable ply, just because I have 2 bobbins, but the bobbins are different weight. This was just something that I had dyed long ago. I just put it through the carder and dyed. This is probably going to be Navajo ply too. This one I also dyed recently, and these are all Corrideo. This, and this, and this. They're all Corrideo. But what I'm planning to do is to apply this and this together. And I have another fiber that is prepared that is more with pinks that I thought that would be nice to apply together. So it would be 1 cable of each. And then whatever leftover I have, because I'm going to have leftover, I have a little bit more of this, then I can apply it together in a different way. But so I do have a lot of stuff that I have spun. Now I want to start spinning on my aura, and when I fill all the bobbins, then I will exchange to the plying bobbin on my Hanson, and then I'll start plying. But then, I don't know if you remember, I had bought a lot of yarn to dye to make my own advent calendar. Then I forgot the idea of the advent calendar, but I start dyeing the yarn. And this is also superwash. So initially I thought I will make shawls, but now I'm thinking that I would like to go and try the Midoro, what's her, ranunculus. And I thought that because it has a lot of drape, it might be okay. But I will try for something first. And I have some shawls that I want to do. So I dyed 3 yellow. So I had 300 grams in yellow, 2 grays. Then I dyed 500 grams of this blue, and this is the same blue, but so all these skeins here were immersion dye. And the difference between the blues and this gray is that I used a different pot. And the advantage of using the bigger pot with a lot of water is that I still got here, because when I do my marking, I make it very loose so that this doesn't happen. But I didn't do the tie-dyes here, and somehow I got this somehow. The tie was probably too tight there. And this I had on a pot, and I had the yarn just hanging more or less like this. This ones I put in the pot where there was a lot of liquid and it was just floating. The thing, everything has advantages and disadvantages. When you're doing in a pot that is like straight, you can get some more color parts that don't get the color very well, but they are easier for you to roll as a skein because they didn't go through a lot of touching, handling. In this one, what I did is I put there and I tried for as much as I could to go to the parts and be sure that the colors were getting through, and I was moving it. And I think that some have more variation, but in general, I think they look very good. the colors. Then these ones I did a different, decided to play with it because I had some leftover blue dye in the pot. So I did like a tie-dye, and I'm going to do a video about it too. And then I just sprinkled the powder on top of it and put it in the microwave to fix. I have a microwave that is just for dyes, so it's okay. So I have 4 of these that I can use together with this or separate. So I'm thinking maybe a Stephen West shawl, I don't know. But there. And then the final thing is, this is Merino. It's 100% Merino that I had spun. And I had spun because I wanted to do the pogona, but then it was too thick a yarn to do the pogona. And what I did is I had dyed the fiber in tones of orange and red, and then I applied it together. But I had a lot of orange. And then my daughter said that her boyfriend likes red. And I said, okay. So I got the yarn that I had, that had all the oranges, and I decided to over dye, and it came with this beautiful red. And Mehi likes it, and he asked for a hat. I will see about it. But I think I have enough to do a scarf and a hat for him. So this is what I have done in dyeing. So I'm going to be, I wanted to make some videos about dyeing, and so you're gonna have some there. And before I go to my last working project, I'm just going to tell briefly, when my sister was here, she's gonna be 70 this year, and when she was here, she liked this sweater that is from the book Strands of Joy. And this is the Foliage. So I am going to make it for her. I have started, and I haven't really started. I was just doing the cast on, but I think I'm going to change the cast on. So my priorities are to finish my grandson's sweater, and then finish my sister and my son's sweater. So these are my 2 priorities. And then on my sewing course, I'm learning how to do quilts. And I have 1 class more, and it's to do the border. But so far, this is how it is looking. I always loved the some Bonet Sue. And it's a good size. So I did a simple one, mainly because the class was to do 1 quilt without doing this embroidery or whatever, applique. So I had to rush to do the appliques done, and I had her done. Each one is in a different location, and this is going to go for my granddaughter, Eloisa, that was born 1 week ago. So yes, this is my last working project, and I'm pretty happy with it, how it turned, and to figure out how they do it. That was pretty cool. And that's it. So hopefully when we come next time, by next video, you have some dyeing videos in the middle if you want to watch them. I did one on making door stoppers that my dog loves a lot. and that's it. Okay, so I wish you well, that you are in peace and good health, and see you next time. Goodbye.
כבר חורף, ארץ רחוקה